Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. This over here is my Honda Prelude F22A2 motor. As you can see, sleeves are a little bit rusty. Not bad, just a little bit of thin surface rust. Tried to clean it out, but yeah, it's just not coming cleaner than what it is right now. In the last episode that I did about this car, I actually put in the new rings on the pistons, and I said, well, I'll have to wait until I have bearings. So there begins for the pistons, and mains for the crank with the little thrust bearings and thrust washers, and there is the measurements for that. Crank is standing over here. Now it's been 10 years since I've actually taken this car apart. I might be a little bit as rusty as the sleeves trying to put this thing back together, but I'm going to put you in the stand. I've got a hone here. This is just a little flat hone, connects to the drill. You can set the amount of pressure that you want by this. I don't like much pressure on it. Got some oil, just normal oil, and I'm going to put some oil in the sleeves before I hone them, and also put on the honing stones just to clean them out. But I'm going to put you in the stand, and then we will see if I can remember how to put this thing back together. Now just a little rag. And it is looking better, but I'm going to continue with this for a little while, and I'll bring you back once I've got these walls cleaned up nicely. And we're back. Now, they are not perfect by any means. This car has 200,000 kilometers on the clock, so the sleeves are worn in different patterns. As you can see, the top is a little bit proud, but you know what, for me, she's perfect for what I want her to do. I've cleaned it out with just some generic brake and parts cleaner to get all of the oil and metal out, and now I'll start the big cleanup. As you can see, there's still a little bit of water in here from washing out the engine, so I'll get this all cleaned out, and then we can start the reassembly of this Prelude short block. Okay, so all surfaces have been cleaned, the bearings are on, all of them good. There's all the old bearings. They didn't look, well, they were bad, so we've got some new ones. Already checked them, they're perfect. And there you go. That is all there is to it. Feel that it's flush. So I'm going to do that with everything, and including here. But before we put this cage on, I need to get the pistons in, because there is no way to actually tighten up the pistons properly with this cage in the way. Now this is a F22A2 motor. It's a little bit different than the K24s and stuff that you see on everybody's video. But this is my little motor. It's a single cam 16 valve 2.2 liter. Okay, but let me get all the bearings in. I showed you how I did that one, so I'm just going to do it now with the rest of the 10 landings, and then we'll start putting in the pistons so I can put the crank in and get everything tight. And over here, this is where my 2 thrust washers will be going. This car only has 2, one on each side of this specific one. It's a little bit wider than the other ones. Okay, let me get back to it. As you can see, all of them are in. As you can also see, I've taken this one back out and I've put some oil underneath it before installing it. But there's those 5 also. And now I'm going to put you in the stand and we're going to see to get these guys in. It's 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's the numbering on my pistons. I actually have numbers on them. So we'll take this one away, turn this one on its side, and I'll get you in the stand and we can put in some pistons into this car. Well, and some bearings first, because well, these ones are tired, really tired. So I've got a new set of bearings over there. There's the old ones just lying around. Look at my poor water pump, but anyway. And also there in the back is the thrust washers. I'll stick them in before actually tightening everything in. Okay, let me get you in the stand. I'll start removing old bearings and putting in some new parts. So everything is set up. Ring squeezer that me and my grandfather used to use to rebuild motors. Let's get this guy open. Okay, now these come with a little oil filament on them, but it's not enough. So, now this one has already been opened. This is the one that I took with me to try and get bearings every time I went out. Just open these. And there is the 2 sides. I'll just get a little bit of oil. A little bit of oil there. A little hook. And then put a little bit of oil there. I don't have assembly lube. I've never used it. Never had a problem. It's just some oil on everything. And a little bit of oil there. Now these things have a number. can see, the numbers should line up. Now, before I put this in, grab myself a little bit of oil. Make sure everything is liberally coated in some oil. Now this is, as you can see, the whole center pin moves inside the piston, but there is no play up and down. This is the old Honda way. Now these rings, there's no gap. I'll set these guys apart. One at the top, that one, that opening at the bottom, and that's how I usually set my rings. It has a little arrow pointing to the front of the engine. Grab this, give it some oil. And then with the back of the hammer, no, that thing did not want to play with. But I'm pretty sure you get the idea. I'm going to continue with this. Get all 4 of my pistons in, and I'll bring you back afterwards. Okay, as you can see, all 4 pistons in. There's the bottoms of the pistons with the new bearings lined up with their little hole bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Front of the motor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, and there they are. So I'm going to put that one there, that one there. And then it is time to get that guy in here. But for that I need 2 hands. So I'm going to put you down, and then let's see about getting this thing inside. Okay. And there we go. Pistons are where they should be. Now, just need to get the rest of everything lined up. Get a little bit of oil on this. Oil on there, as you can see. There. That one is almost tight. There. So it's time for that cage. All of these little things. And let's get this done. Always remember to line up your numbers, otherwise you're going to have a bad day. Now, that's not torqued. As you can see here, got this mark, and I've got this. That is where these little guys go in. So let's see. Now they should slide through. And there you can see it poking out that side, poking out that side, always with the little gaps towards the crank. Now let's see this little guy. And there you can see it popping out. Now, if you feel it, you shouldn't feel it. Well, it should just feel like a flush surface. Then you know it's good. And then you can see there is basically zero play on my crank. Now, I'm going to oil these. Get that in here after I've torqued this. So I'm going to torque this first, and then I'll bring you back once I'm putting in that part. Okay, there we go. Everything is in. The rod caps have been torqued to 36 Newton meters. Oh, not Newton meters, foot-pounds. As the book on it that I have states, I have put extra oil on all the bearings, all the bearing surfaces. And now I'm ready to install that guy. I'm going to move you guys to the other side because the sun is kind of getting a little bit in your eyes if you're standing on that side. So let me put you over here, and we'll get you installing this guy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just folds in here, and then these are the bolts for it. What I always like to do before I install these guys, take a little bit of oil just on the tip of it. Make sure where the washer is going to ride you have some oil. Make sure that your torque settings will be exact, because if you don't, a dry bolt is a lot harder to turn than a bolt that has a little bit of lubrication on it. So to make sure your torque settings are always exactly on, I do that. Just a simple little thing. You can use whatever you want. Never sees assembly lube. I don't care. Just a little bit of lubrication to make sure that they go where they should. Now I'm going to put all of this in. I'm going to torque it according to the book. It's 72 Newton meters. That will turn out, what's that, 52 foot-pounds of torque. So I'll just reset another wrench over here at the back, unlock it, This one is already in foot pounds, so I just go to, where is my 50? There is my 50 on 0. You see 50. You see 50 on the 0. Then I just go to 52. I lock it back down, and that is how I will torque. Now the torque sequence of this is very weird. Torque sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I will be following that sequence, and I will torque this guy down. And I think my short block is almost assembled, just for some few other things that I will show you guys just now. Everything's been torqued up. Now I want to install this balancing shaft that my Honda has. Now I have one over here, would be this one. I'm not going to install it now because I still need to put some oil on the bearings. And then I've got this one. This one is part of the oil pump. As you can see, let me get out of the sunlight. There is my oil pump, but I don't have a main front seal, and I cannot put on this one right now. As you can see, the main rear is also completely wasted. Now my water pump looks bad, but it's still functioning perfectly, so I'm just going to have it as is. This is part of that balancing shaft. Now on this, it actually has a timing mark on it, so when you reassemble this Honda motor, you have to make sure these balancing shafts are timed correctly. As you can see, mine just slips in there. Now that one has a little keeper. I can find the bolts for it now, or whatever. This little keeper that rides in and it fell on the floor. Great. So let's try this again. There's a little groove for it. And it should just slide right in there. Two little bolts hold it in. But I'm not going to put this all together now because, as I said, I don't have seals. So that's going to conclude it for this video. The short block is basically halfway assembled. The sun is starting to get really bad in the way now also. I'm going to clean up everything over here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and hope you liked it. It was informative. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Bye bye.